Hey guys, it's Cassie, aka Cats and Camera, and today I'm going to be talking about rereading books. Now personally, for me, I've never really been much of a rereader. I don't know why. It's not like I've had an aversion to it, like, get away from me, I've already read you, I need to read new ones. But it's just never really been a thing that I've actively sought out. I know there's a big part of the booktube community, or just readers in general, that have like Harry Potter for instance, where they'll read it every single year and it's this thing and it's a memory for them. I think that's really cool. But even with some of my favourite childhood books, I've never read them more than once, and I will be talking about that in the next video that I'm going to post. So this year I did a couple of videos at the beginning of the year about books I wanted to get to. I'll leave them linked if you want to check that out. And within that I had some books that I'd previously read that I wanted to reread, either because I really enjoyed them or because there was another book coming out and I wanted to refresh my memory. And now we're in April and I have already reread quite a few books and I really enjoyed doing it. I understand now why people like to reread their favourites, because seriously, this series, I was on the third book, I was halfway through the third book and I was like, I want to reread this again already, and I hadn't even finished yet. I enjoyed it so much on the second read because I already knew all the character arcs and what was going to happen, but also it was like a new experience as well, because reading stuff from the first book that kind of relate to the next ones and then already knowing what's going to happen, it's so much fun, and I don't know why I've never done it before. As you can probably tell, one of the series that I've already reread this year is the All for the Game series by Nora Sakovic. This was, or is on my list to read the books I want to read this year, but I had no plan on reading them this month. I actually saw someone on Instagram read this series for the first time and talk about how amazing they thought it was, and I was like, I really want to reread that right now. And then about 10 minutes later I went to my bookshelf and pulled off the first book and started it, and I blasted through this and it was so good. Honestly, I want to read this again and like tab it up and go crazy with the tabs and have like a million different tabs for every single little detail. I want to tab up every time YMX says something like, if you don't get here in 5 minutes I'm going to sign you up to a marathon. I want to tab every single time of that. I want to tab every single time that Andrew and Neil interact. I want to tab every single time Neil says I'm fine, because that is so iconic and he says it so many times. He's not fine. He's very much not fine. But he will tell you he's fine. You should really read this series if you haven't already, because I absolutely loved it, and honestly I don't even know, I might even reread it again this year and do that whole tabbing thing, because it was so good and I had so much fun rereading it. So another book that I reread this year was Openly Straight by Bill Konigsberg. I did this right at the beginning of January because I wanted to get onto the second book, which is Honestly Ben. So I reread this and I reread the novella Openly Honestly, and again I really enjoyed it, and I was glad that I reread this because the second book picks off straight away from where this one ended, so I would have been kind of like, what is going on? Slightly confused. I was reminded at how weird this book has been made because the pages are so weird and crinkly. Look how crinkly they are, you can't even open it properly, I don't know why. Can you hear this? It's weird. But I enjoyed it again. It's making me want to reread other books and see how I feel about them on a second run, which again will be discussed in the next video that I post. And last but not least, I've reread the first 3 volumes of Deadly Class because I had volume 4 and I've now read 5 as well. And again, this was so good. I actually bumped up my rating from 4 to 5 stars on these on the second read. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the tone, I enjoyed the artwork a lot more. It's not really my sort of artwork for comics, so like it's very colour blocky, very much just different tones of the same colour, which isn't usually my style, but I really enjoyed it again on the second read. It just fits so well with the story. And with these, because I even read these volumes quite far apart, even just with the rereads, there was stuff that I picked up on in the first volume, in the second volume, that I saw later on down the road that I wouldn't have even remembered, or, well, didn't even pick up on the first time that I read them. So that's what's so good about rereading books. Also, if you're going to reread something, you know you're going to enjoy it because you've already read it and you're like, I really enjoyed that book, let's read it again. If you're reading something new, it might be terrible. You won't know until you've read it. So yeah, that is my experience this year with rereading books. I've definitely changed my opinion. Not that I really had a strong opinion against rereading, but it was just never something that I thought about. But now I'm just like, I want to reread all the books. Even though I have so many that I haven't read yet, I want to reread all the books. So yeah, like I've mentioned a couple of times in this video, the next video that I'm going to put out is going to be books that I do want to reread, like the ones that I'm most excited about going back to. So hopefully you'll come back and check that out. Tell me down below what you think about rereading, whether it's something that you do a lot of, whether, hey, maybe you're one of them people that do this Harry Potter every single year and it's a whole thing and it's like part of your life now. Tell me down below. Or maybe you've never reread anything and you think it's pointless because you've got too many books on your TBR. Let me know. I'm one of them people. I've got too many books on my TBR, but I'm still going to reread all my faves. If this is your first video about me and you enjoy it, then please check out some of my others. And if you continue to enjoy them, then please subscribe, that'd be awesome. And guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video. Bye.